But anytime you come across a problem, there's a restriction that you can apply to your improv that can allow you to challenge yourself. One of the most common ones I think I see with my students, besides the one I already mentioned about changing position, would have to do with keeping their phrases rhythmically interesting. Because a lot of times when you think about phrases, you think about the notes, right? You think about, okay, I'm playing this chord, I'm going to hit these notes, it's going to sound really cool. That's great. That's a major part of it. However, then when you start focusing on the note choice, you start forgetting the rhythm, and the rhythm is equally as interesting most of the time. So if you were to take the common problem that most guitar players have with their rhythms when improvising, it's that they start or end their phrases the exact same way rhythmically every time. So there's a lot of guys, specifically if you're more from like a bluesy kind of background, where they'll start every phrase with the same little rake. So they might just start everything with so everything starts with the exact same little like say 16 note rake into whatever. Or if you're more of a metal guy, how many metal solos start with something like starting on the low strings and working their way up with like say 16th notes or 16th note triplets. A lot of times there's a problem of breaking out of your comfort zone and changing rhythms. So what you can do is give yourself a specific rhythm to play your entire solo with. Now this is going to be very hard for some people because it's really hard even for experienced players to keep the playing interesting when you're only able to play one rhythm. If you're only able to play, say, eighth notes, that's going to get kind of boring, and that's going to do it so very quickly. So what you want, it's going to force you to become more conscious of things like note choice. It's going to force you to become more conscious of every little aspect of your playing. So like dynamics, you're going to have to be more conscious of. You're going to note choice because everything is focused on, say, this eighth note rhythm. So I'm going to throw this back on, and I'm going to do a little demonstration of that. And I'll call out some rhythm that I'll do. And you can see it's rather difficult to keep it interesting when you can only play a specific rhythm. So I'll just start with the eighth notes, and then throw some other ones out there for an example. Okay, so. It gets pretty old pretty quick, so you need to make sure you're focusing on what chords you're playing and what you can outline. You can do some more with that. You could do a restriction even where you can play you just play fast. Just to challenge your endurance and make sure that if you give yourself a restriction of just playing as fast as you can, what that's going to do is it's going to push your endurance. It's going to push your accuracy over a period of time. So you could just take something, let's say, you play fast. You can just kind of go all over the place with that. And after, if you can keep that going for, say, a period of a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, you're going to gradually expand the amount of time you can do that. The cool thing about that is then when you go back, it's going to be even easier. When you're just playing slower phrases and thinking more about the melodic things, you have the endurance and the accuracy to be able to do so. So, remember, with this concept, you really need to make sure that you're picking restrictions that will challenge you specifically. A lot of times people think, oh, okay, that using one string, that's cool. I'll try that. That might not be what you need to practice. With the tons of guitar students that I've had, everyone's obviously different, and everyone has different needs of what they need to practice on their instrument. So, does anyone have any questions over anything like related to this or anything, I guess, in general?
Can you show me an example of where you're talking about bending every note?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'll also branch off. There's another way you can do that too, where you give yourself a specific note that you have to bend. So say every third note or something like that. You can do some cool stuff like that too. But I'll just do, you said bending every note, right? Yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah. Yeah, that sort of thing where you have to be very conscious of the notes you're playing, because you have to make sure that you're bending to the notes that are matching with the chord, or ones that are going to specifically create a little bit of tension, that sort of thing. But like I said, you can do something where you have every third note, where you have like a... Something like that, where what this really does is it helps tie together your mind and your guitar playing and the physical aspects of it. There's a lot of problems that people have where it's not just a physical problem. It tends to be more of a mental problem, where they have this weird disconnect between their mind and what ideas they have and what their fingers are trying to play, that sort of thing. Cool.